What's going on, traders? Welcome to another weekly Forex forecast. Let me know in the comments down below what pairs you're watching this week and where you think the markets are headed. We're going to break it down in this video, so stay tuned and hit that subscribe button if you want to learn more about supply and demand trading. All right, first we're going to look at the US dollar. The past week they got rid of 11,000 shorts and they actually added 2,800 longs, which has kind of been the theme the past month. Looking at this COT report, the past month they've been adding longs slowly and slowly, which it could be temporary or it could be a shift. I'm not really sure. We'll have to wait to find out. Looking at the daily time frame here, if you go back and watch some of my other weekly Forex forecasts, you'll notice that I talked about this daily supply area right here. Be very careful for it. I wouldn't be buying the dollar in that area, and as you can see, it was proven right that you probably shouldn't be buying the dollar in that area, even though other pairs the dollar was still gaining strength. But like I said, be very careful buying the dollar up here. Right now, I'm not really interested in any of this here. If price does come down to this area of demand, I'd be interested in buying the dollar. If price comes back up to here, I'd be interested in just staying away for now. So that's what I'm seeing on the US dollar. All right, looking at Euro USD the past week, it's similar to the US dollar index. They got rid of 11,000 longs and they didn't really do much with their shorts, but they're still very much long. On the euro, we're reacting off of this weekly area of demand right here. So weekly demand is in control. So I am looking for buying opportunities in the euro on the 4 hour, looking for that 4 hour momentum shift. I did take a small half risk loss on this 4 hour demand up here. I bumped my stop. I'm not even going to get into it. It was a very small loss. I had a winner in USDCAD though that made up like basically 3 times for that loss. So that's why you need to keep your risk reward appropriate when trading. But right now, looking at the daily time frame, it's either is price going to go up here or down there. My guess, it's probably going to go up based on the fact that weekly demand is in control. So I do not expect it to come down here. I do expect it to come in here. If price hits this daily supply, I'm not really super interested in that because there's the weekly demand down here. And the weekly demand is way stronger than this daily area of supply. So if you do look like this daily area of demand of supply up here is not a bad area for day trades. You can look for momentum shifts in there, something like this on smaller time frames and to the downside, just for a nice little 2-to-1 day trade. I'm not going to be doing that. I will be looking, let's just say that. But the ultimate confirmation for the euro will be this daily zone and this daily trend line that you see right here being removed, and that'll be the ultimate sign that the euro is probably going to be going much higher, even though we do have some overhead supply on the weekly time frame up here. I would be interested in probably buying if something like that does happen on the euro, but as of now, I will be sticking to the 4 hour chart for 4 hour momentum shifts to the upside. As you can see, we have a couple nice demand zones right here. Support and resistance traders might be looking at that, but as for now in the 4 hour, basically if I see that, something like that, then I would be interested in buying the pullback. Just looking at the 4 hour, and then if the daily time frame does do what I said it does or said it will do, then that's basically going to be where I am adding on to my existing trade that I am in. All right, looking at Aussie US dollar, the past week they got rid of 4,000 longs and they got rid of 4,000 shorts. So not much to look at on the COT report. Looking at the daily time frame here, we are stuck between supply and demand right here. So it's kind of a buy low, sell high situation, which I'm not a fan of. And now both of these zones are tested. So if you are going to be shorting, looking for confirmation in this daily zone, I'd wait for that zone. If you're going to be going long, I'd wait for zones down there. I'm not interested. Basically on this pair, I'm not liking the chart. I would probably have to see this supply be removed and those supply zones be removed before I start to look for pullbacks. And if the Aussie gets weak, then I would have to see this demand area and support and resistance area be broken before shorting. So something like that on the daily time frame. As of now, I am just kind of sticking away from this. I think there's way better opportunities in other pairs, so stay tuned and watch the rest of the video to see what I'm talking about. All right, on to GBPUSD, the British pound. The past week, they got rid of 6,000 longs and just about 770 shorts, which brought their percentage from long to short from 69% to 67%. It's kind of looking similar to the Aussie dollar, where we are just stuck between supply and demand. Prices reacting off this trend line. I don't like trading around trend lines. I watch them to see what removes them. But, as for now, as far as the pound goes, I'm going to have to see this zone be removed, and then this high right here be removed as well for the trend to continue in order to buy. Until that happens, I'm not really interested. If price does come down here, you could. I'm not going to be, but you could be looking for a 1 hour momentum shift in that there for a little day trade. But I would expect it to fall further. But yeah, as of now, I'm just kind of staying away from this pair. I want to see what the banks are doing here. I want to see if they're going to break this trend line to the downside or if they're going to continue the trend up. Right now, if anything, you would be shorting because we're in supply, and I think you'd probably find some nice 1 hour opportunities in the supply zone. But as of now, I am just on my toes, or I don't even know what the saying is, but I am just kind of waiting for the pound to see, what is it going to do? Is it going to let the banks show their hand? Are they going to break their supply zone, or are they going to break their demand zone? We'll have to see, and we'll have to wait to find out. All right, on to USDJPY. The past week, they added 7,000 longs, and the week before that, they added 15,000 longs as well, and they got rid of 38,000 shorts. I think it's the option or the contracts expiring. So now they're 72% long on this pair, which could just be temporary. We'll have to see. Or, the US dollar is gaining strength. I'm kind of doubting it. We'll have to see. We'll have to see a couple more call reports to really be able to tell. As you can see, the daily time frame is on a very nice uptrend. Daily supply is not really till up here in the 1.1 or 109.6 area. So the daily trend is up. We have room on the weekly time frame here, all the way up to about 111. So you could. What I'm waiting for on this pair is, since that daily trend is trending, I'm not gonna be shorting. So what I'm waiting for is for this 4 hour supply to be removed up here. Then I will start to look to buy 4 hour or 1 hour pullbacks to that weekly area of supply, which would be my final target, which is like the 111 area up here. And if you can get in a nice entry with a small risk, your risk reward is huge if you can hold to that weekly area of supply. So right now, like I said, just waiting for that supply to be removed, make new highs, then I could connect the trend line, something like that. But until then, I'm just staying away from this because the trends are not aligned. The daily's trending, the 4 hours downtrending, the 1 hour's downtrending. So I just want all my time frames to be trending. And then if we can't get a pullback, I'm just not interested. I'm not interested in trading this pair, even if price does come up to this weekly area of supply. It's already been tested over here right away, so I'm not interested in shorting up here. Although there is a monthly area of supply up here, so you could eventually look for a daily confirmation in that area to look to go short. USDCAD, the past week they added 1,600 longs and added 800 shorts as well. I'll show you a trade I took in this pair. As you can see, the daily's on a very nice downtrend. That's why I liked this trade, and there's no there's no daily demand for a while, so I was very interested in shorting this pair. Weekly downtrend as well. And this is the trade I took right here. It was this zone right here. Let me highlight it. As you can see, it didn't have any demand or move down here because on the 4 hour, these zones are too hard to track. Speaking about tracking zones, check out my Patreon. That's what I do for all the Patreon members. You get all my zones updated every day to look for day trades in or whatever you want to do. So I had this zone right here. I shorted the pullback. It was actually a 1 hour. I'll show you the exact entry that I took. It was a 1 hour supply zone inside of a 4 hour supply zone right here. Actually, it was right here. it worked out very nicely. My stop was above here, somewhere up here, above the whole 4-hour zone. So it's not like I had a tighter stop. But as you can see, the dollar tanked, and it, hit my take profit very fast. I couldn't believe it, actually. So that was a very nice trade. It was about a 2-to-1, a little bit more, I think. So yeah, on the US dollar CAD right now, I'm interested in shorting because I like the trends. But for me to go short now, I have to see, basically I have to see this 4-hour continued trend to the downside, which would be breaking that area, this demand area at the 1.24 area, to continue the trend down. And at that point, the 1-hour trend will continue as well. So then we could be shorting pullbacks down to here. If you're a Patreon member, you will get the zones that I have that I will be shorting, like that, because sometimes this happens during the week and I can't really show you guys on the weekly Forex forecast. So that's why I started the Patreon. So check it out, links in the description. Let me know if you have any questions at all, and I will get back to you. All right, looking at USDCHF, the past week they got rid of 10,000 shorts on this pair. Like I said before, I think it's the contract expiration. Daily supply was in control here, so looking for shorts was a decent idea up there. If you've watched the last week's video, I talked about a profitable trade I had in the Swiss. As of now, I'm not super interested in this daily area. I will be looking for a 1-hour momentum shift, but it's risky because this very nice weekly supply is in control. So right now I am looking for shorts on this pair, but I'd be looking for shorts on the 4-hour, and here we are in the 4-hour. This was the trade that I took right here. If you didn't watch the last week's video, right there, I didn't make too much on that one because price did come right back up, but I did make a little bit of profit. Actually, I could draw a zone right here. And that's what you get for Patreon members. You get that updated. I would save it, and then it would be in your thing. So right now, it's looking like this is going to break. Basically, for me to look for a short position on the 4-hour, I need to see both of these supplies or demand zones be removed, and then I'd be shorting the pullbacks to the downside, which I think would be a pretty good setup based on the fact that the weekly supply is in control. Weekly supply is also in control on the US dollar as well, so that there's some extra confluence in here. And that's why I'm staying away from the pairs like Aussie and the pound, just because these pairs are more lining up with the dollar and what the dollar's doing. So I'm very interested in trading this pair. I just need to wait for the best time. Yes, there's supply here, but I don't like it. It's still tested. I'm not going to be taking tested areas like that. There is a supply zone right up here, but what I don't like about this is that support and resistance traders see that, and then they just, I'll put my stop loss right up here. And usually what you see is something like this, and I'm just not interested in doing that. So you could do something like that and then just take the trade where their stop losses are. Do that. I don't know. I haven't really tested that, but even if price does break this supply zone, we'd have new demand right around here. So then we would just have to see that demand removed, and then that demand, and then we could short. So there's plenty of shorting opportunities coming up. We just have to wait for the best opportunity. On to gold, XAUUSD. The past week they added 1,300 longs, and they actually got rid of 3,600 shorts. Basically the shorts they added the previous week. Looking at the daily chart here, we are reacting off of this daily trend line. So I think traders are probably shorting there. I'm kind of expecting it to break above here based on the fact that we are in the monthly area of demand. So I want to see that, and then maybe I would be interested in buying that pullback to there. I do want to see supply removed first, which we do have here. I wish there was like a supply zone here to be removed at the same time, so then we could have the trend line and the supply removed. But based on the fact that the one supply zone already has been removed, I'd be interested in buying a demand zone here. So let's just say we get a shoot up. Let's just say price shoots up from here. That's the basing for the demand. If it happens, I'm very interested in buying that demand to the upside. Since this is a daily time frame, I would just have to wait for a 1-hour momentum shift in the daily time frame to tighten up my risk. Looking at the 4-hour, we are trending in the we are in an uptrend. As you can see, not much as far as supply up here to be removed. You could make an argument for this being a supply zone, which I'm probably going to draw for now, like this. So, if that trend line gets removed, it's probably somewhere up here. This is a 4-hour chart, so I would want to see that supply be removed before entering on the 4-hour if we don't get the pullback to the daily demand that I was talking about, if it is demand. So that's what I'm kind of seeing on the 4-hour chart on gold. But as you can see, price is turning around, and price turns from inside out, right? So that daily time frame, I'm waiting for it to change, and so far the 4-hour chart is really telling us that price is turning around. Gold is getting stronger. It was down here at 1688, and now it's in the 1700s. So hopefully we can still see a push to the upside. The call reports are showing that maybe they're starting to add more longs and getting rid of their shorts, so we'll have to see. As far as the 4-hour goes, we are seeing that change in the direction. So basically just watch the daily time frame here. I wouldn't be shorting around this trend line, and I wouldn't be going long around this trend line. We'll just have to see how price reacts. All right, on to oil. Last but not least, the call reports show they got rid of 12,000 longs, and they actually got rid of 4 shorts. Yes, I said that right. 4. So it's a weird chart to look at. They're getting rid of longs as we come up to this weekly area of supply. Supply is in control. I kind of wanted to look for a 4-hour momentum shift in this area, but it's kind of looking like, you could probably, I'm probably going to call that removed. It's a tough decision, but I'm definitely going to have to call that removed. So we do have a potential supply zone right here. We just have to wait for another candle to close, so another week. So the weekly chart, the weekly supply is in control. We do have in the daily time frame here, we have a pretty decent setup. Not a fan of these zones at the extreme like this. I know it's kind of contrary to what other supply and demand traders think, but that's fine. I'm interested in looking for a 1-hour momentum shift in this daily area of supply. I'll just tell you that right now. I think it's a decent zone. It took out this trend line and an opposing zone, so I'm very interested in that. So I will look for that 1-hour momentum shift in the area. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I do have a video called like Confirmation Trading 101, and it's exactly what I will be looking for when price does come up to that area, if it does. Because right now we're kind of stuck in between supply and demand, but ultimately I'd rather almost be shorting oil rather than buying it. And the fact that they got rid of 12,000 longs is kind of telling as well, right? So something like that to the downside. And as far as profit margin goes, the weekly chart doesn't have much. Like the next zone is at $52 a barrel. So, we could get an entry around the 63 area and ride it down to 52. That would be huge. Get a nice 1-hour entry. Your risk to reward would be probably like 20-1 or something if you could hold it. Obviously, you'd be taking profits along the way. But, I think right now shorting oil is probably the best idea. All right, everyone. Thanks again for watching this week's Forex forecast. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button as well, if you don't mind. I really appreciate all the support. Let me know in the comments down below what pairs you're looking at this week, and maybe we can get in touch and you can send me a chart and let me know what you're looking at. I always like looking at charts. So with that being said, let's have a great trading week and let's make some money. Cheers.